is going to the playoffs!
Kyle Busch will complete the regular season with back-to-back runner-up performances, coming agonizingly close to securing his postseason spot, but falling just short. And he wasn't too happy about this. Well, it's safe to say he was furious. What a terrible way to end the regular season for Kyle Busch. It all happened in the last laps of the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway, where Chase Briscoe knew he was carrying the whole weight of Stewart-Haas Racing into the closing circuits on Sunday night. And he couldn't be happier afterwards. "I feel like I run better under heavy pressure," Briscoe remarked. "I love the Game 7, pressure-heavy moment." He made a stunning three-wide pass late in the race and held on to win the Southern 500 and qualify for the playoffs, giving Stewart-Haas Racing one final chance to add to its championship history before the season ends, and beating Kyle Busch for the last win, and you're in spot. Briscoe and his crew enter the postseason relishing the pressure in the closing days of the program that won NASCAR championships with Tony Stewart in 2011 and Kevin Harvick in 2014. Briscoe received a call from Stewart, his owner, and drivers approached him to congratulate him on his victory. Briscoe claimed the lead with a three-wide maneuver over Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain before outrunning two-time series winner Kyle Busch at the finish. Briscoe drew away on the last restart with 17 laps to hold off Busch, who, like Briscoe, needed a win to make the playoffs. "We just won the Southern 500, an emotional Briscoe announced over the car radio. Briscoe is ready for more accomplishments with Stewart-Haas. "Yeah, this group, the day we found out that the team wasn't going to exist anymore, we went over to the shop board, looked at each other and said, 'We're in this to the end,'" Briscoe said. "I was saying all week, we've got one bullet left in the chamber." That bullet hit. Ty Gibbs and Martin Truex Jr. of Joe Gibbs Racing earned the remaining 2 postseason slots based on points. But Bubba Wallace and Chastain, who were both within 27 points of the cutoff line when the race began, fell short. And let's not forget Kyle Busch, who finished runner-up 2 weeks in a row. Briscoe's spectacular maneuver disrupted Kyle Larson's great Darlington drive, in which he led 263 laps, but was unable to recover after being overtaken by the eventual winner. Larson attempted to pass Tyler Reddick for the regular season points title, and the 15 extra points the leader earns, but fell 1 point short. Christopher Bell finished third, followed by Larson, Chastain, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Corey LaJoie, and Reddick. Truex, in his final season before retiring, only needed a strong, problem-free race at the too-tough-to-tame track to progress. Instead, he placed his fate in the hands of others when he wrecked on lap 3 when his car slipped up and collided with defending NASCAR champion Ryan Blaney. However, following Larson's victory in the second stage, he also won the first stage. NASCAR said Truex had secured a position in the 16-driver playoff field. Bubba Wallace started the weekend as the first driver out of the playoffs, and he received a lift when he claimed his first Darlington pole Saturday. But with 2311 co-owner Michael Jordan watching from his pit box, Wallace was involved in a 6-car collision 24 laps from the finish line. Jordan, who was wearing a headphone and watched carefully, put his hands up and bent his head as he saw Wallace in the collision. "Wasn't good enough for 16th this year, hate that," Wallace said. "Stinks saying that, but wasn't for a lack of effort." Busch failed to win for the second week in a row, falling to a fellow winless driver this season. He was defeated by Harrison Burton last week in Daytona. It all started when Busch restarted 9th with only 17 laps to go at Darlington, and swiftly soared through the field on somewhat fresher tires. It was a courageous performance by the two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, who is facing his first winless season since entering the Cup season full-time in 2005. It only took him 2 laps to get into second place, with another must-win driver slightly ahead of him, Chase Briscoe. They were all over the track as the tires wore down, and Busch was anxious for clear air. He closed in but was never able to catch up, finishing second to yet another surprise winner in consecutive weeks. His 2024 playoff run is ended before it even began. "Hate it for our guys," said Busch, who won titles in 2015 and 2019. "Something to build on and get better for. We just missed a lot early in the year, the middle part of the year to be in this spot, on the outside looking in." Kyle Busch had many opportunities to win and qualify for the NASCAR playoffs in recent weeks, but he couldn't quite pull it off. He was furious afterwards. He knew he just blew 2 good chances in only 9 days' time. On Sunday, he finished second to Chase Briscoe following a duel in the final laps. For a while, Busch believed he could go all the way there. "Yeah, I did when I made it through a few of those guys right there on the start. I thought we'd have a shot to get there," he said on the USA broadcast after the race. "I think I just needed him to have maybe 3 or 4 more laps older tires for me to be able to break through the wake once I got within his air. I really didn't have enough to power through that to get closer. I was kind of sliding already." Busch closed the lead to a couple car lengths, but lacked the last push to cross the line and claim the crucial victory, so his long string of winning seasons will come to an end. What is the good news? Kyle Busch was having his best racing at the conclusion of the season. Busch praised the crew for their progress throughout the race, stating that, "We really overachieved towards the end." It's something to build on after a disappointing season for the number 8 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet. They appeared to turn things around in recent weeks, but it was just too little, too late. "Hate it for our guys, everybody on our team, everybody at RCR and this Morgan & Morgan Chevrolet," Busch said. "They turned it around the last 4 or 5 weeks and we've run a lot better, and that's been much improved and beneficial to our team and the organization. Something to build on and get better for. We just missed a lot in the early part of the year and through the middle part of the year to put ourselves in this spot and be on the outside looking in. To come in here for a last-ditch effort and have a shot. Early in the race, I wouldn't have thought we had a shot, so felt like we really overachieved there toward the end and got a really good finish for what we had, or what I thought we had. We'll take it and keep building on it." He was left to think about all the times the checkered flag slid through his fingers. Notably, in March, he was the middle car in a 3-wide picture in Atlanta, missing out on victory by only a few inches. Last week's finish at Daytona was second place. Kyle Busch has been competitive in previous races as well. "And Atlanta, it's just short. Come up short," Busch said. "Maybe I am a washed-up old dog, but hopefully I can find a few more trophies." It is obviously not due to a lack of effort, as seen by Kyle Busch's driving in recent weeks. Unfortunately, it was too little, too late for the 2-time Cup Series winner. "I wanted it last week. I wanted it this week. I wanted it at Atlanta. I wanted it at Vegas," Busch said. "There's been a lot of opportunities. Daytona 500 we were up front all day. I can count them at least on a hand. Maybe I need 2 hands to count opportunities that have slipped away. We're achieving right now, and getting success from those runs and pulling in those finishes that we need." The veteran driver now has 10 weeks to extend his record string of 19 consecutive Cup wins. What are your thoughts on Kyle Busch missing out on the playoffs? Could he have done a miracle run to another title if he did make it? And what about Chase Briscoe entering playoffs? Could he do something special? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.